It's time to talk Orville Sanctuary episode. Here we go. Yes, we had another solid episode last night of the Orville. Um, getting less away from the blatant humor, which is fine. I mean, there's still humor, there's still comedy, in the episodes. But they're starting to get it where the comedy is more really in line with the story, so that there's whatever's happening just kind of flows with it, and it just becomes part of the story. And that was for sure what happened with the episode last night, Sanctuary. So let's kind of go through the episode a little bit. We've got, of course, they start by getting this weapons upgrade. The Mocklins give them a weapons upgrade in the beginning, which with the threat and everything that's going on, it's good they all band together. And it makes the point at the very beginning that these weapons are from the Mocklins, so that they know, right, this is how we're going to defend ourselves. We need to rely solely on the Mocklins, and that's going to become important later on in the episode. And then we do see a guest appearance of Marina Sirtis. Of course, Counselor Troy from Next Generation, right? She was on here, which is, it was kind of a, if I look at here, I'm going to pull up just to go over kind of the episode here, is that we had quite a few people from, of course, this episode being directed by Jonathan Frakes. And then down here we've got, of course, Marina Sirtis is guest appearing, but also Ron Canada, who was also in, I think he was in Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Next Generation. So he is definitely a Star Trek alumni coming up there. And then we also had F. Murray Abraham, who was one of the key villains in Star Trek Insurrection. We also had Raina Owen, who was reprising her role of Havina from the first season episode About a Girl. So this is kind of extending from that episode about getting the female children off of Moklis to a place where they can have sanctuary and refuge. So, and we also have some other stars like Ted Danson and Kelly Hu, reprising, some roles again, since we were back on Earth and going to the big council meeting and everything. And the other name that I did notice down here is Tony Todd. So Tony Todd typically has makeup on, but we'll get to where his image is here in a second. And I saw his name, and I'm like, where is he? Where is he? And I kept looking for him throughout the whole episode. Where is he? I can't find him yet. So, but we'll find him. Okay, so here we got Marina Sirtis doing her. She's the school teacher, I guess, on the Orville. So maybe she'll be making more guest appearances as the school teacher. So these other two Mocklins that come on board that they're giving a lift somewhere are hiding some cargo. And this cargo happens to be a female Mocklin baby, and they're trying to get that child, unknown to everyone on the ship, to this sanctuary planet where all the women Mocklins are going. So everybody finds out about it, that's what happened, and they go looking for the ship, and they find this nebula area where they find this planet, and there is Navina again explaining what's going on. This planet is to save the women from this mutilation and change and stuff that they force on them and everything when they're young in life and everything else. They want to just be able to live and live as themselves and as they are. So the Orville's all for that. So, okay, we're going to help you. They want to join the Planetary Union. Okay, so let's go do that. We'll help you. Instead of having to run off, we'll help you do that. So then they get to the big, huge council, and they're going to present their case. But the Mocklins show up at the other planet. Oh, here we go. Here, this is Tony Todd here. I was wondering when he was going to show up. He's one of the major representatives of the Mocklins in the Planetary Union Council meeting here. And I'm like, okay, so this is what he would look like in Star Trek. Of course, this is Worf's brother in Star Trek. So just another alumni continuing, feeding over into the Orville, furthering the notion to me, right, that the Orville truly is the Star Trek of today. That Star Trek Discovery is for a completely different audience who is not into Star Trek, not into the original thoughts and methods and how Star Trek was before. The Orville is for us today and how Star Trek is today. Excuse the bird in the background. There are birds in this room. So, okay, so then the Moclans are there on the planet. They're starting to, capture the women that are there, and they're going to drag them off. So Kelly and Bortus run down there and start fighting them off. And then we do what I would assume would be a little hugging the donkey as they're flying around, as the battle ensues in the sky. And in the end, they were able to work out a deal where the underground train of female Moclans stops, at least for now, and they're going to leave this planet alone, and they're not going to join the Union, and they're just going to be on their own. But the Moclans agree to not come and kill all of them, just leave them be, let them live, and they're they kind of see it as kind of defeat. But Navina, the leader here on this planet, sees no, it isn't everything we wanted, but at least we can live, we can create, we can be free and all that. So once again, just an incredible episode of people in challenge. I mean, refugees that come to different countries and things for different reasons, fleeing persecution. That's been a theme throughout history, right? People have fled persecution, fled different things, religious persecution, government persecution, all kinds of things throughout history. And now here we see this played out again. And even though it's not a great final outcome for them, they're still happy with what they got. And they're not going to be able to save anymore right now. Maybe later on there'll be enough uprising and change inside the Moclan government that they'll eventually realize that this is an old practice. We used to do it this way, and we don't have to anymore. And, we don't have to do this sex mutilation thing to the kids that happen to be born female and all that. So, maybe that'll start that stirring inside there. And with the agreement that they got, the Moclans are still going to, provide weapons and everything with the threats and stuff that are out there. So, but it's just a good, the kicker, the real big kicker was when Navina is on the shuttle and they're heading to Earth, and they bring up women of the past in Earth's history, so that have been been artists. They were talking about art and things like that, and of course the first thing that she plays is Dolly Parton working 9 to 5, and Navina's just like, oh my, this is amazing. This is this is our theme song. So anytime that they would get up there, it would be her theme song. She would, she was at what she presented to the Planetary Union Council. She's saying the words to 9 to 5 when they're battling on this sanctuary planet. That song is playing in the background of the battle and everything else. Just fun, just really, that's where they're building in the humor directly into the story. They don't have to kind of force it or anything. It's just like it just happened, and then boom, there you go. It's just part of it. Just amazing episodes. I can't, just continuing the really good storytelling. I mean, I really liked the story. This is a story, it's, like I said, of all throughout history, we've had areas of persecution. There are people in other, in many parts of the world today, that are being persecuted and that are being, oppressed, that don't have the freedoms that we have here in the United States. And where, yes, we can have some of them come into the United States to help, but that's not really gonna. There's so many people in the world that even if we took in 100,000 every year, that would be nothing to the other 6 billion or whatever that are out there in the world. We all can't fit them inside the United States to enjoy our freedoms. We need they need to understand in their own governments and their own people how to change these things. We can put a band-aid on it for a little bit, but you need to change your own society from inside and be able to build those freedoms from inside. I know it's an easy thing to say. I mean, when you have a really oppressive government and then you have to have revolts and things like that, and they've asked, over the years, that's what's the U.S. and stuff has been asked to help some of these revolts for better or for worse. We have to try and make that ethical judgment about who we should support and what, often it comes down to what interest is it to the United States. And I wish it weren't that way, but, I wish more countries would understand that people really want to be able to live their lives as they are and not have government oppress them and government control them and government keep them from doing things. So that in that way, Havina's group here on the Sanctuary Planet kind of did get what they want. They're no longer under oppression. They're no longer under threat. They can be creative and artistic and live and do the things that they, want to do, as themselves and become, a bigger part of the galaxy at some point, because this colony will probably grow, and then maybe they'll even find other colonies and join together. Who knows what could lie in the storyline after that. All right, so that's was the Orville Sanctuary episode. I don't know what number was that. Episode 12. We have so few left. I think we have 2 more episodes in season 2, which is really not making me happy. We have 2 more episodes. The next episode is called Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. So a time distortion affects Ed and Kelly's relationship. So who knows what that's going to bring. That may be another comedy-filled episode, because when Ed and Kelly get together, they really have a good chemistry. I mean, those 2 actors really have a good chemistry together. They really paired up together really well in the show. So that should be a good episode coming up. And then the last episode of the season, The Road Not Taken. So the crew must contend with the disastrous fallout from Kelly's decision. Uh-oh. Is Kelly leaving the show? I don't know. Kelly contend with the fallout of her decision. So I wonder what she does. That will be interesting. I mean, these are just little blip descriptions, so we never know what it's going to actually be. But anyway, well, thanks for watching this episode and this show and following the Orville. It's been great to have something on TV that's episodic, that's like Star Trek, that we can all love, like Star Trek, and continue that. And so, I forgot to show the Skycam is in effect. We do have Skycam footage here, so we can get a better view of the bridge crew up here and everything. But Skycam is always available if somebody needs Skycam. We have Skycam available. Okay, so there we go. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit bells, all those things. I do videos like this, Orville, Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel stuff, any of those kinds of things, and photography. I do videos on photography when I get around to those. I do videos on technology, which is kind of my day job, and post them here. They're all in playlists, so if you only want to go to one particular subject, just go to that playlist and you can check out what's in that channel, part of the channel. Okay, so thanks for watching and take care.